Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Football by Rob. It's Rob here. I know it's been a long time. I've just been trying to sort things out, but hopefully now we can be in a position where I'll be uploading way more frequently. The target is to ensure that we at least have daily uploads, if not at least 3 to 4 videos a week on YouTube, and we can hopefully take it from here. In this video, I'll be discussing Arsenal's most recent game against Sunderland. We'll also just take a quick look at Arsenal's form after 11 games into the season and also take a look at the next three fixtures that we have after the international break, which is currently ongoing, and see where we can stand after that heading into December and the Christmas period. I'll also be taking a look at some of the stuff on Twitter with regards to the VAR controversy between the Liverpool and Man City game. And we'll also be taking a look at the French national team, who are in action during the international week right now, and they have a chance to secure their position for the World Cup in America next summer. So without further ado, we are going to get right into that. But before that, I just want to ask you guys, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Please support the content in any way possible. I mean, it's free to just drop a like and subscribe and share. You can leave a comment as well if you want to disagree with me. I'm more than willing to get into a healthy argument and debate if necessary. And I also make these football and F1 and pop culture related artworks, which I sell on a site called Frankly Wearing. I'll be leaving a link to that in the comments. And if you want, you can check them out. There are a bunch of new prints that are out right now, especially a messy one, which will pop up on the screen right now. And yeah, the plan is to basically have those going as well. They are all hand drawn from reference. There's no AI involved in the creation process. And I really hope you'll consider checking them out because they help put food on the table. So yeah, that's about it. Shameless plug done. Let's get into the videos, right? So right off the bat, we're going to look at Arsenal's current situation in the league. 11 games played, 8 won, 2 draws, 1 loss, plus 15 goal difference, and just 5 goals conceded in the season. It was 3 prior to the game against Sunderland. We'll get into that shortly. And if you look at the Champions League as well, Arsenal are joint top, one of 3 teams left with a perfect record in the league. Uh, and they're just behind Bayern, who scored more goals than us. But Arsenal are also the only team to still have a clean sheet record of 100% in the Champions League. So that's pretty commendable as well. And the FA Cup hasn't started. In the League Cup, we're in the quarterfinal, and I think we're up against Crystal Palace. That's where we're at. So let's get into the first game that we're going to discuss. Arsenal went away to Sunderland last weekend, just before the international break started, and they had to play out a 2-2 draw thanks to a last minute equalizer from Brian Robbie. Now, I'm going to share my honest thoughts with this game. I think Arsenal were very sloppy in the first half, despite the attack momentum showing that we had most of the ball and the possession. I don't think we were good enough in that first half. Their goal comes against the run of play, but I still think that we were very poor. And I'll have to give credit to Sunderland. They really matched our physicality and they gave us a really good game. Even though I personally feel that some of the officiating was a bit questionable. There could have been some decisions that went our way, but I'm not sure why it wasn't that case. I'm not sure why it wasn't so, but I'm not going to be harping on that because I think overall Arsenal created enough chances in the game to win the game. What we lacked in this game, in my opinion, was we really missed a striker like Victor Gyökeres or Kai Havertz or even Gabriel Jesus, because Mikel Merino, as much as I really appreciate his industry and his work ethic, I don't think he was very successful in helping stretch the defense out. If we look at the average positions for both the teams, you can see Sunderland basically just blocked up the shop in the middle of the park, and they were just really difficult to break down. Once they scored the first goal, I mean, this line was even further. This was here. If we go into the second half, they were really, really camped in their own box, and they just wanted us to try and break them down. And to be fair, Arsenal did create a lot of chances, like I mentioned. But here, if you see, this was Mikel Merino's average position for the game. Now, I think somebody like Merino, he needed to be moving a bit forward and try to, you know, cause some chaos and create some sort of confusion between the centre back line. That would have allowed people like Eze, people like Saka and Trossard to have more room to operate in. This has been happening with Gyökeres. With Gyökeres around, while he hasn't been in his prolific best like he was last season with Sporting, Gyökeres was really effective in ensuring that Saka wasn't getting double teamed, triple teamed a whole lot, and also dragging centre backs and fullbacks out of position to create these passing channels and create space for people like Odegaard and Eze to operate in. And I think with Merino, you lose a bit of these qualities in this line of players as well. And I know that Merino got an assist, and people might be thinking I'm being harsh on him. But even if you see that goal, that assist is more down to Saka actually scoring than Merino setting that goal up. In fact, he actually should have been passing on the other side because I think it was Trossard or Eze, somebody was on the other side, and that was the correct pass. But he made the pass that was less likely to be scored, and the fact that Saka scored on his near post, on the goalkeeper's near post, sorry, tells you that. I mean, if you just go into the stats, you see the XG for that goal, and that should tell us everything. So let's go to some right there. The XG on that goal is 0.22. It wasn't a gilt-edged opportunity like it may appear on the stat sheet, but yeah, I still think it was a bit lacking from somebody like Merino. David Raya really did not have a good game. I mean, let's go back to the stats again. If you see, Sunderland just had two big chances, and they had two shots on target, if I'm not mistaken, and both their shots on target resulted in goals. So right there, if you see both, and especially the second goal, I think David Raya has no reason to be coming out of his goal and just being left in no man's land, floundering for nothing. Had he just stayed on his line, he would have made a very rudimentary save. I also have to portion blame to Gabriel as well. Gabriel was not all that great in this game, and the fact that the second goal happens with him being muscled off the ball by Brian Robbie is something that he needs to take blame for. But again, Gabriel has been solid, one of our best players this season. He's been an ever present in the starting lineup as well, especially with Saliba having these occasional injury spells as well. So I'm going to cut him some slack. Declan Rice also, he was really lacking. I mean, you could see it, towards the end of the game. I think this international break came at a really good time for some of the players because a rest was needed. And it just felt like the amount of injuries that Arsenal have, it was really showing towards the last 20 minutes of the game as well. I mean, you could see Sunderland were just running us ragged at one point. But I think overall it was a point well deserved. Even though we created the bulk of the chances, we had a massive swing in terms of the XG, in terms of the attack momentum as well. If you look at the attack map as well, Arsenal were clearly much more in the ascendancy. Obviously, something really blocked up right in front of goal, so it was hard to penetrate down this side. But overall, Arsenal were the team that tried to win the game more. There were a couple of chances as well. There was that Zubimendi shot that hit the crossbar. There was a really late double chance from Calafiori and then Merino as well, which was the Calafiori header was saved by the keeper, and the Merino shot from this sort of area was blocked by Dan Ballard, who also scored Sunderland's first goal. So all in all, it was a great game. Not the ideal result, but I can only take solace from this game with the fact that City have to go there, Liverpool have to go there, Chelsea have to go there. I mean, Sunderland have already beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, so they are no slouches. I know the newly promoted teams have had a bad rap in the Premier League for the last 2 or 3 seasons, but this season they are actually looking like they can actually give a fight to some of the teams and actually make their claim for a spot in the league next season as well. So I'm going to give Sunderland the credit I think they deserve, personally, even if others might not. Now, all in all, that's good, but where does that leave us? Like I mentioned, we are 4 points behind City, and we have two massive games to round off November in the Premier League, as well as a absolutely crucial tie in the Champions League, in my opinion. So let's take a look at that. We are playing Spurs in the next game, and if we compare our stats to each other, more or less the similar amount of goals scored. We are just ahead by one, but they have conceded twice the number of goals that we have conceded. And if we compare the teams as well, I think Arsenal turn out better. The fact that it's at our home actually is better for Tottenham because they've had a really poor home record this season under Thomas Frank. So they might actually be up for the game at the Emirates. But I think we should win it, personally. They are going to go into the game fifth. This is their last 5 games form. In comparison, our form is much better. And I think we will be able to see this over the line mainly because we have been told that Kai Havertz, Noni Madueke, and Gabriel Jesus are all on track to return for those games. Odegaard is still going to be out. I'm not sure about Martinelli right now. It's also odd, because Odegaard is not sure to come back for that game, but he's apparently traveled with the Norwegian national team for their international break right now. And that could be down to the fact that Norway are on the cusp of qualifying for the World Cup for the first time in what I think it's 94 or 98 when they last qualified. So it's a big moment for them as a country. The fact that Odegaard is the captain of that team as well, normally when fit and available. So I can understand him going there. I just hope for his and for Arsenal's sake that he is not going to get emotional and go and play when he's still not 100% match fit. And I hope that the Norwegian FA also has saner minds that prevail on this decision. I just want all our players back. I don't want any injuries. We've had so many injuries; it's not even funny. But yeah, so I see Arsenal actually doing well in this game. If everything goes to plan, until and unless there is some unforeseen calamity that happens, I think we can win this game. I want to see who's going to be refereeing it, but I'm not really sure. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe it's not been decided yet. But yeah, you never know with the Premier League officials and the PGMI, anything's possible. Then we have this massive, massive game. This I think is going to be the litmus test for us this season. So far, I mean, I know we've played a bunch of decent teams, but if you look at it, we played Man United on the first day, and to be fair, they outplayed us. We were lucky to get that win. And the Liverpool game also, we didn't really show our teeth in that game, and we didn't win that game. So there's nothing to write home about. The City game, again, I think Mikel Arteta could have been a bit more adventurous, but the fact that Man City decided to score a goal early and then park their bus tells me a lot about how far Arsenal has progressed as a team. And I mean, I remember City just coming and rolling us over time and again in the early stages of Pep's career at the Etihad. So the fact that it's come to the point where they are actually affording us the respect our play and our players deserve tells a lot. But this game, I think, is going to be massive because Bayern are not the kind of team that sits back. And I will be expecting Bayern to really give us a proper fight. So if we look at some of their last games, let's see how they've been lining up and what sort of average position have they had in their games. That's the way. So look at mine. This is how they are normally. This is in their last game. If we go to the Champions League, I think that will give us a better idea as well because it's the same competition. Okay, this is Bayern. They did go a bit deep, to be fair, but I think that was after Luis Diaz got a red card. He won't be playing in the Arsenal game, so that will be massive as well for us. But on the whole, Bayern Munich are the kind of team that actually step out and play. They aren't the type of team to sit back and just suffer and absorb pressure for the majority of the game and then try and counter. So I think there will be a chance to see what this Arsenal squad is actually made of and whether they can actually go toe to toe with the big boys. Yes, they did pick up some memorable wins last season against big opponents, but you need to tie those off with silverware at the end of the day as well. Otherwise, those wins don't count for much. If you look at the comparison as well, 4 games played, 11 goals scored, 14 for them. We haven't conceded any, they've conceded 3. We've kept clean sheets in all our games. And they have assists also close or thereabout. If we look at Harry Kane, oh, I'm really worried about him. Man. He loves playing against Arsenal all the time. So I hope for our sake we can keep him quiet. I hope that we have a completely injury free squad as well for that game. And it will be important to have our first choice backline for that game. I would want Calafiori playing. Calafiori, uh, sorry, hold on. Yeah, I would want Calafiori playing in that game, to be honest, alongside Gabriel, Saliba, and Timber, because I think that is the strongest lineup that we can put out in terms of the backline. And it will be crucial to keep Kane quiet. Luis Diaz won't be there, so I think the main focus will be on Kane. To be honest, I'm really worried, man. Bayern have given me a lot of sleepless nights over the years. But I think right now, Arsenal have a better chance to give them a proper game. And it'll also depend on what sort of atmosphere we can generate at the Emirates as well. The fact that there's no away leg at the Allianz Arena is also helpful for us because it's going to be one and done. We haven't had a good record in Germany, so I would really want us to at least make sure that we keep our home record that we've had under Mikel in the Champions League really intact. So we haven't conceded a single goal in any group or league stage game in the Champions League since we've come back to the competition with Mikel. And if we can keep Bayern quiet, if we can keep a clean sheet against Bayern, we're going to win the game. There's no two ways about it because I know there are goals in us. It's just if we can keep them quiet. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. Enough of the Bayern talk. I think we can get it. And now, the final game of November, which is going to be massive for us, is the Chelsea versus Arsenal London Derby, Stamford Bridge, on the 30th of November. Now, again, form wise, we are way ahead of them. If we go into the league table as well, Chelsea are third right now, 6 points behind us. So no matter what happens after the Tottenham game, Arsenal will still be on top. But then, if we don't win that, and if we don't win against Chelsea, oh god, it's going to be a very, very, very nervy December heading into the second half of the season. I think we can get them. But again, it will depend on what sort of lineup Chelsea put out. I think Caicedo is going to be the player that we need to watch out for mostly. And it will be interesting to see Caicedo versus Declan Rice in that midfield battle. It will also be interesting to see how Reece James stacks up as a right back and how Jurgen Timber stacks up as a right back in the game as well. Because there have been a lot of comparisons in the media between these two players. I think Timber right now is one of the strongest fullbacks, right backs in the league. But I will say that Reece James is a better player than him. The only problem that Reece James has is the fact that he isn't as fit, and the availability is a massive factor for him. So if you can't be available, then I will be picking Timber over him. But on an equal footing, Reece James is still the better player. Yes, I will give him that props. But that being said, I wouldn't swap them. If I had to pick between the two of them to build my team, I'm picking Timber all day because he is really dependable. He's the kind of player who will keep giving you 7 out of 10s game in, game out. And very rarely does he put a foot wrong. He's solid in a 1v1 defending situation as well, and he's really, really good when it comes to adding an extra man on the right flank for Bukayo or Martin Odegaard or somebody like that to, combine and play with. So I think this game is going to be won or lost in the midfield primarily. It depends on who comes out on top between these two. And I think after that, I'm not even going to be biased about it. Zubimendi is a better midfielder than Enzo in terms of tempo controlling. But yeah, it'll be important to see what sort of team turns up on the day. And again, what sort of injuries and availability we have for players. If we have a full strength squad, I think we can win all three of these games. I'm a bit worried about the Bayern game, mainly because of Harry Kane and mainly because of Manuel Neuer. Because this guy, he is not normal. I'm also concerned about Michael Oliver as well. He's a player I really admire. He's French as well. I wanted Arsenal to sign him before he went to Bayern. He was at Crystal Palace, but it never happened. But I can understand that because I mean Bukayo's got that right wing spot locked down, so it's understandable. So where do I see Arsenal after these 3 games? Personally, I think we can win this. I think we can win this, but I don't know. My mind keeps telling me there's a possibility of a draw in this game, and I think we can win this as well. Right. Sorry about that. If there's a weird cut, I just had my internet go out, but I've managed to sort that. Yeah, so we were done discussing the Chelsea game. Now we're just going to go into the VAR incident that's been going around. More than one actually. So first of all was the Jeremy Doku penalty, which was given. Now I just want to show you this. This is the contact for which the penalty was given, and this is the contact for which Gyökeres was not given the penalty because the explanation was that Pope has got a touch on the ball and he played the ball apparently, and apparently Gyökeres would not be able to ground the keeper and get the next touch on the ball. And if you see the other angle, I don't have it here, but he's basically going to score into an open net. But this was not given a penalty. I mean, it was given a penalty on the field, but it was overturned by VAR. And this was not a penalty, but VAR apparently wanted to intervene and show the referee this angle, and subsequently Liverpool conceded the penalty. Now, the person who was handling VAR on the day was Michael Oliver. And if you think that penalty was egregious, well, it didn't amount to much because Haaland missed it anyway. This, however, is something completely next level. Now, I'm not going to play it because YouTube and Sky Sports love to copyright strike whenever possible. So I'm just going to play. I'm just going to skip the video and freeze frame, and we can just see from there. Okay. So the corner is coming in from this angle. It's coming in from here. This is the ball right here. This is Andy Robertson. Now Andy Robertson is in his eye line, but until and unless the ball is touched or played by a Liverpool player, the offside is irrelevant because you cannot be offside from a throw in or a corner kick. Okay. So we move it a little bit forward. The ball moves forward. It moves forward. You can see Robertson is slowly moving out of his eye line. There, he's moved. He's moved. And we can't see it here, but right here, if you can see, this is where the ball starts traveling back. Right there. The ball is traveling back here, correct? So if you go back one frame before that, boom, there. It's Jeremy Doku who is directly in his eye line. Look, there, straight up. Not Robertson. If you go there, now the ball is in play. Robertson is in an offside position, but he is not impeding his line of sight whatsoever. If anyone is doing that, it's Doku, his own player. And we keep moving forward. The ball is now headed towards the goal. It's headed towards the goal. Donnarumma seen it. You can see that in his footwork. Watch how his footwork changes. Boom, boom. He's taking a step to the right, and now he knows he has to take a step to the left. So you're going to see him launch now. Watch. Look at that. He's ready. He's put all his weight on this leg, and he's about to pounce. There we go. There we go. Yeah, now he's in that full motion to jump. And Robertson, the only action he does is he's ducking. But even this ducking action is not impeding Donnarumma's ability to see the ball or his ability to play the ball. It's not like he's 2 feet close to him and doing that, right? There we go. There we go. There we go. And you can see that he's had a completely clean view of the ball. From the time it's left Van Dijk side, Van Dijk is here. And it's going. He's missed it, and it's a goal. Now, Michael Oliver, for what it's worth, was the VAR, and he said that the referee needs to go and take a look at it. Or more importantly, actually, the referee didn't have to take a look at it because the on-field decision was offside. Now, the on-field decision was made by the linesman, Howard Webb and Michael Owen, in their Premier League show that they host called Ref Watch. Absolute farce that it is. They mentioned, and they even played the audio. You can go check it out. I'm not playing it here because I don't want to get copyright stuff for no reason. They played that audio where the linesman is saying that he could be impeding. Robertson could be impeding Donnarumma's line of sight. The moment VAR sees that it isn't the case, that is a clear and obvious error by the linesman, and the VAR should be intervening to fix that. If we take a look at the position from where, the linesman is somewhere here, and he's watching something happening out here. How are you going to be able to gauge that? Because to see that, you either need to be on top or you need to be behind the goal to see that. You cannot determine who is in the line of sight of the goalkeeper from this position. And this is why I feel, while I understand the linesman was following his protocol and he was trying to do what he felt was right in the moment, the VAR and the fact that this technology exists now should be there to clear up any confusion, error on the linesman and the referee's part. Michael Oliver, for some reason, doesn't want to do that. He goes and gives the goal. And then now we have people like Jonathan Morley. He is known to be an absolute rage baiting fan if there ever was one. But he's going and sharing.
Webb after the game said this, and I quote, Michael Oliver.
Hold on. This is the video that Arsenal fans had put out last year, Papa Pincus had put out, where he's mentioned how Michael Oliver had a lot of questionable decisions in one entire season, and he's going to play it out here. Hopefully, I don't get a copyright strike for this. I'm just going to play it so you can see it, and I'll keep quiet.
But it's Man City's 12th man. He has been for quite some time. I'm going to prove it now. Ready? Are you ready?
I don't know.
This is just last season. Nathan Ake, offside goal versus Fulham last season. Remember that? Leno's view clearly obstructed. Goal for City. Kovacic with one of the most blatant second yellows of all time in Premier League history at the Emirates. Remember that?
I do.
Michael Oliver ignored. And Howard Webb after the game said this, and I quote, Kovacic deserved a red card, but Michael Oliver doesn't like to have a negative impact in a big game. Doku, karate kick on McAllister. In the box, no penalty.
I can't tell you that one.
No penalty. Arguably a red. Grealish, blatant handball. FA Cup semi-final last season. Doku, delaying the restart. Right in front of his eyes. No yellow. Here's some statistics for you. He's awarded fewer yellow cards to Man City compared to any of the other top 8 clubs. He has not once issued a red card to a Man City player in his career, despite officiating 47 Man City matches. Not one red. And to top things off, he was paid £20,000 in 2023 to referee a game in the UAE, which coincidentally happened to be funded by the Man City owner. Michael Oliver is Man City.
Right. It also needs to be mentioned that the linesman in question who made that decision was also part of the officiating team that went to Abu Dhabi to referee after being paid by the owners of Man City. But if we mention this to other people, then Arsenal fans are the ones who are called paranoid and stupid and everything under the sun. You look at what Mark Goldrich said as well.
Guy. And he's missed. Justice. Fucking justice. I tell you what, that is justice. Absolute justice. Michael Oliver, you are a fucking joke, mate. You are an absolute hypocrite. You are not good at your job. And I mean, what is it about you and Man City? I don't know. Unbelievable. But justice has been served. But 2 years ago, Liverpool had a stonewall penalty at Anfield. He didn't give it. Here we are 2 years later. He's overruling the referee, on-field referee, for something that wasn't clear and obvious. Pulling rank again, making it all about himself. Absolute joke. Same guy. And
this is what he's talking about, this incident. So here you have Jeremy Doku doing his best Mark Ali impression in stoppage time against Liverpool. This was 2 seasons ago. So the season where Arsenal lost the title by 2 points. And when you're up against a beast like City, these fine margins have massive impact. I mean, Liverpool fans know that more than anyone else. They have been on the receiving end of these near misses so many times. It's hilarious that people actually, think that it's some sort of conspiracy theory. And look at the penalty that he's getting now. I'm not even going into the Gyökeres Arsenal version of it, but look at this. This is the penalty. And this is nothing. The Premier League website actually uses this photo to talk about dangerous challenges, but they haven't even given a foul for this in the actual moment when it happened. And I have no love for either of these teams. They are both title rivals for me. But it's about proper officiating because this is what's killing the game. There's this guy on YouTube called Terry Flores. He's mentioned it a lot. It's actually killing the game. It's not the amount of set pieces or long throw-ins or negative football and stuff like that. What's actually killing the British game is this substandard level of officiating and people just making things up as they go along. And I think that needs to stop. Personally, if you ask me, I think this is the most expensive league in the world, the richest league in the world with the best players, the biggest amount of resources when it comes to finances. Just get proper European referees. Stop having to settle for these mediocre referees just because they're British. None of the owners are British anymore. Most of them aren't. Most of the players in the Premier League are internationals, foreign internationals. Why can't the referees also be brought in from an international level who are much more competent than people like Howard Webb? And I'm sorry, Howard Webb, he could, Michael Oliver could take a dump in the middle of the center field, and Howard Webb and Dermot Gallagher and these sort of people will defend it because that's all they do. They're like one boys club, and they're all just trying to save each other's back all the time. And it's honestly, it's just getting laughable now. It's not even annoying anymore. It's actually comical. We look at this as well. I'm not sure if this will be allowed or not, but I'm just going to play it anyway. Look at this. This is last season. This is last season in the 2-2 draw at the Etihad. There's no card here. Erling Haaland provoking celebration at the end, no card. Again, look at this right after kickoff, barging into a player with no regard for the ball. The ball is nowhere in sight. Let's just go back there. Look at where the ball is. The ball is here. The ball is there. And this man is barging in to a player with no regard for the ball. But there's no card either. You keep going. Keep going. This was given a foul. Wow. That was the kick. But Howard Webb defends it. And then he comes back to say that, oh, he's one of the best referees, but he would not want to have a negative impact on the game. Now, we'll just watch some of his negative impacts on Arsenal's games prior to this. I'm not playing the audio again because we don't want. Look at this. So Martinelli apparently impeded for the throw-in, so that's a yellow card for that. And now for this foul, there's another yellow card as well. Tomiyasu thinks this is all happening in real time. Watch this. Just watch this again. I'm not going to go into this. This is former referee Keith Hackett. Even he's been questioning Michael Oliver's integrity now. So it's gotten that bad. And at what point are people actually going to ask for an independent review into the officiating of the Premier League? Because I think we've had way too many instances that prove that Howard Webb cannot be trusted anymore. It's just annoying. It's genuinely annoying. And it's not even just Arsenal who are suffering. Every team is suffering because of this sort of officiating. Just this season alone, there have been so many different instances where the VAR has not been doing a proper job. Not only that, the VAR was brought in to weed out these sort of inconsistencies. They've only gone out. And to top it all off, it has also resulted in the amount of game time in a Premier League game dropping down. I think on an average, the ball is in play for like maybe 39 to 42 minutes now this season so far. That is abysmal. In a 90-minute game, the ball is only on the field rolling around for 42 minutes. That is criminal. And you don't see this in Champions League. You don't see this in the Serie A. I have a close friend who's a Serie A fan. He tells me that the implementation and the use of VAR is much more competent and easy to understand both for the players and for the fans. Whereas in the Premier League, they have just made it a convoluted mess, and it doesn't improve the game. It only takes away from it. It annoys. It is all that it does. And I think this needs to stop. I sincerely hope that Michael Oliver is actually innocent and there is nothing shady going on. But given what's happened with David Coot, given the rise of these podcasts where you have different referees coming and mentioning that they held certain grudges towards certain players and people in the past, I won't be surprised in the future if we find out that Michael Oliver actually has something shady going on, or there is some sort of conflict of interest with him and Man City. I hope for his sake it isn't the case. But if that were to be found out, I wouldn't be surprised. And I just want to mention as well, I'm not alleging that there's something shady going on between Michael Oliver and Man City. But it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. That's all I'm going to say. Now, enough of the refereeing drama. Let's go and check out France before we end this video. So France are going to be playing Ukraine tomorrow. And if they win, they can complete their qualification process for the World Cup and just kick back and watch the rest of the teams battle it out in the playoffs. Now, I think they can beat Ukraine if we go and see the head-to-head as well. France did beat Ukraine last time out in September, and since then, I think France should have won this game. But to be fair, Iceland did put up a really good fight against them. But yeah, I think France can win this game. It will be important to see what sort of lineup Deschamps plays. I personally, I don't know if you've been watching this channel for a long time or not. I am not the biggest believer in Didier Deschamps right now. I think he's overstayed his welcome at the French national team, and it's high time that we get some new blood. Zidane, Zidane. We get some new blood into the team. But that being said, I will also give him his dues for the fact that he's led this team to 4 major finals, won 2 of them. And I'm really happy that N'Golo Conte is back in the squad. I think it's going to be massive for players like Conte, Pogba, and the other veterans from the 2018 squad if they can be fit and be in contention for a spot in the team for the 2026 World Cup. I still think we don't have a midfield enforcer like Conte in the team right now. I would say maybe Kamavinga on a good day, Tchouameni maybe on a good day. Kefren Turam at Juventus, he's impressed me a lot as well. But nobody's impressed me to the level that Conte has. So I really want N'Golo Conte to be in that team. He is one player I really love. I really, really love that player. And he's just so good. I sincerely hope he's going to play. And I hope to see him play tomorrow against Ukraine as well. In case the Ukraine game isn't a win for France, they will still have another opportunity 2 days after to beat Azerbaijan. They have to go away from home. But I hope they can get this done just before that. I don't want it to be left to the last game and then, have this possibility of a playoff or anything like that. We need to wrap this up ASAP so that in the next game you just play a bunch of kids. Don't risk anybody massive. And let's just take it home. Let's just take it home from there and try and get the third star that we deserve. Well, yeah, that's been it, guys. So I'm going to leave it at that. Tomorrow, we'll be doing a detailed preview on this game, hopefully, and we'll try to see how it goes from there. Okay? Peace. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like I said, once again, at the start of the video, if you can consider liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel, that'll be really great. Please check out my merch as well, my drawings as well. If you want to DM me on IG, and if you want a custom drawing made as well, I can do that as well. Just let me know. I'm always open. And please feel free to leave a comment as well if you want to disagree with anything I've said. If you have some opinion that you want to add to something I've said, more than welcome. But that's been it, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.